Happy Friday. You know who this is. I came here with my stuff, my analysis today. It's going to be short because it's 4th of July weekend. I'm about to have a drink soon, so here we are. It's going to be really short because I don't really have that much to say today. It's mostly going to be geared towards the coronavirus. So, as you all know, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. It's not your average 4th of July weekend, so I'm just going to read off the numbers to you. So we are at 11 million globally, 11,047,217 cases of COVID. So we at 11,047,217 cases of COVID. In the United States, we are at 2,793,435 cases of COVID. Just to read off some other countries, so Brazil just reached their 1.5 mark, so they 1,539,081. Russia is at 666,941. India is at 625,044. Peru is at 2,995,599. And UK went down. UK went down by like 25,000 cases. So their curve has completely flattened. They're in the 200s. So 285,787. Just as some Latin countries that we are in. I see there's some Latin countries, including, Panama is at 35,995. Dominican Republic is at 35,148. Honduras is at 21,120. Guatemala is at 21,293. El Salvador is at 7,267. Nigeria is at 27,564. Ghana is at Ghana is at 19,388. Cameroon is at 12,592. Kenya is at 7,181. Senegal is at 7,000. So Senegal is at 7,164. I have too much numbers. Gotta remind myself. In the West Indies, we got Haiti at 6,101. Jamaica at 727. Diamond Princess at 712 still. Guyana, 256. They rise 6 cases. Trinidad and Tobago, 130 cases. Bahamas at 104. Antigua went down a case, 68. St. Vincent, still flat, 29. Belize, 28. 23 in Grenada, 19 St. Lucia. Dominica, 18. Now, we get into the States. New York went up a little bit. They at 400,561 cases, but it didn't go up by a lot. I think they reported the lowest cases today, 900 cases of COVID-19 from the thousands of tests they perform a day. I don't know how much tests performed today. It's probably like in the 50s or 60s. The death toll is still in the 30s, 31,000. I thought it was 32, but from this number from the New York Times is at 31,836. And the recovery rate here is almost at 71,000. So that's pretty good. But what states are surprising, California is at 253,371. So they like next to us in New York. I'm not surprised because eventually that state is big, and eventually when it gets hot, people are going to wild out. And they're wilding out in California. And their death rate is at 6,314. Texas moved a big chunk from 181,000 yesterday. 188, 683, and their death toll is at 2,500. So it's 2,598. So it's almost at 2,600. Florida is at 178 cases, so 178,586, and their death toll is almost at 4,000, so it's 3,683. Arizona is at 91,000. That's a huge jump from where they were like at 85 yesterday. So it's 91,894. They almost at 92,100 and So they're at 1,801. Georgia is 85,079, and their death toll is almost at 3,000 as well. So they're 2,808, and three of the states, California, Texas, and Florida, surpassed New Jersey, as New Jersey's case still sits at 174,000 cases. So coronavirus is still alive and well. Just because it's warm, just because New York curve is flattening, you can still get COVID-19. It's not a hoax. It's not a hoax if people have dropped dead and died or got COVID. I just spoke to one of my colleagues yesterday. She's experiencing COVID symptoms again because she had COVID-19. And she's in a high-risk health group because she's a diabetic. So when people say like, oh, it's a hoax, oh, it's man-made, oh, it's something that Dr. Fauci made up, you motherfuckers want to do your research, because it's no way in hell that COVID-19 is fake. I know someone that actually died from it as well, a longtime neighbor of mine from when I grew up in Harlem, and lived in Harlem. So I know COVID is real. Them symptoms is no joke. Like, it's like the flu times 10. It takes normally a week and a half to recover from a flu. It's taking you 2-3 weeks. No, my degree is actually in business. I majored in my concentration was in accounting. I minored in history. But most of my jobs have revolved around nonprofits and certain government agencies. So that's a lot of my knowledge. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And current events was always my hobby. I always loved it. So as a kid, ironically, I used to read Time for Kids when I used to go to elementary school in New York City. So yeah. So thank you very much, Joseph. I appreciate it. But I mean, you know, COVID-19 is not fake. It's not. I know pastors that died from it. Prominent pastors in Harlem that died from it, and in the Bronx. So when people say COVID is fake, they may want to do their research again. Because I got tagged in a post saying how it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's real. It's very real. And speaking of other COVID news, New York City is entering into phase 3. I have to correct myself because I thought they wasn't, because they was eliminating the restaurants. But they're entering in phase 3. They're just eliminating the indoor restaurants, especially in New York City, because it could be airborne. And plus, New York City has over 200,000 cases itself. They make up for half of the cases that's in the state, because of the European travel back and forth during January, February, and March, which we didn't know that in Europe it was. We knew about Spain and Italy, but we didn't know about France. And a lot of people from Spain, Italy, and France do come to New York, and they do travel uptown to Harlem. I'm not sure they go to the Bronx a lot, but they do go to Harlem, and they go to preferably in Manhattan, and they go to Brooklyn, and they go to Queens. So more than likely, I knew that was happening. I knew it didn't come from no China. It takes a long time to travel from China to New York. That's like a day. It's like a 23-hour flight, I think. I don't know. But it's long. It's on the other side of the world. So, I mean, you want to get technical, that's where our COVID virus did come from Europe. So, that's the reason why New York is such on a high alert. That's why we had to close down travel to other places. And you know what? I think that was a good thing, because I know some friends of mine that went down south, and I'm like, y'all may want to stay down there for like an extra 2 weeks, because the governor, once you get back, you need to get tested. Because South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, and Texas are on the list, along with some other states. I think California and Arizona are on the list of states on a travel advisory. So you may want to do your research. Just saying. To those folks. But phase 3 is happening this Monday coming. So mask the hell up. Put a mask on it, as the governor said. So Trump's coronavirus rally, again, he is having another coronavirus rally, and it's in South Dakota, which I'm not surprised because for those who don't know, South Dakota was one of the 8 states that did not issue a stay-at-home order, while others did a partial one and did a full one because she's stupid. So according to the Washington Post, Donald Trump is delivering his speech, I think tonight. I think they televise it on Fox News, State TV. And Donald Trump is, yeah. Oh, that was your daughter? There's nothing funny here? Oh, okay. She probably thought it was funny. But, hey. So, Donald Trump will be delivering a speech out on Mount Rushmore Memorial. Those are the heads of the former presidents and the founding fathers in South Dakota tonight. And it's for a Independence Day rally, including fireworks and everything. And he's issuing the left-wing mob and the so-called cancel culture that you have. And the governor of South Dakota, which is their name is Kristi Noem, confirmed that this week that there will be no social distancing enforced, which is crazy. There's supposed to be about like 7,500 people attending this thing. And in addition, they will not be required to wear masks, but they're handing out masks, but you don't have to wear them. I think that's the stupidest thing that you can possibly put people in. And then she said, we will have a large event on July 3rd. We told folks that the concerns that they can stay home if they're concerned. But those who want to come and join us, we are giving out free face masks, and if they choose to wear one. But we won't be social distancing. That's what she said on Fox News. We were asking them to come and be ready to celebrate and enjoy the freedom and the liberties that we have in this country. However, Trump's address will be directed towards his hatred towards peaceful protesters. And he said, if we tear down our quote-unquote history, we will not be able to understand ourselves of Americans' destiny. The left-wing mob and those participating in cancel culture are engaging in totalitarian behavior that is completely alien to American life, and we must not accept it. And it's a snippet of his speech. So here's the thing, like, that's not a celebration. But there was a Native Americans that are going to protest. I'm pretty sure they are protesting because it's on Black Hills. That's a Native American reservation in South Dakota, because there are still Native Americans in that sector of the country, in South Dakota and North Dakota. And so Native Americans who I think protest this thing, they said the whole Black Hill is sacred, and to come and carve the presidents who are slave owners who had no meaning to us, it was an insult. And that's what one member said, and it's true because they were slave owners. And even in the 1800s, like the late 1800s, when it was like the genocide of Native Americans, they killed and slaughtered them. So Native Americans have the right to be upset, just like African Americans, just like the Latinx community, just like some of the Asians and Pacific Islanders. We all have a right to be upset of Trump's rhetoric and his disrespect to just celebrating on land that hurt people. I mean, duh. And the fireworks can cause wildfires and can contaminate the water surrounding the Black Hills. And also the mass gatherings that can have a coronavirus outbreak within the Native American community. So, like I said, this administration has no care for nothing, that affects people of color. Whether you're Black, whether you're brown, blue, red, yellow, they don't care. And this is where, and it's sad that we have kids in a society that has to grow up and look at someone who holds the presidency. And I don't call him the president, and I told everybody I don't call him that because he does not respect the White House and the Constitution and our democratic norms. And I don't have kids, and I can't explain this. So imagine if I had children and I have to explain about this man to my daughter or son that this man is a racist. I mean, there was bad presidents in my time, but nothing like this is beyond belief. I can only imagine in my mom's time. And there was racist presidents, I'm assuming, around her time. But there was also, you got the Bull Connors and the George Wallaces that my mom grew up in South Carolina to watch all of that. That happened in Alabama, and that happened in like places like Mississippi, where my mom had to look at all of that and lived in a segregated area. I don't know what that feels like. You know, I don't know. And I told people he's a clown, like you said. He has no respect for no one. He's a con artist. If you live in New York, born, raised, or have lived here for a long time, everybody knows the history of Donald Trump. I read old articles, what Donald Trump has done, which I knew. A lot of people don't know. How he bought a building, how he was trying to kick people out. And it was like in the 80s and 90s, trying to kick people out so he could put whoever he wanted in that building. Let rats and rodents and roaches coming in, the walls cracking, you know, try to evict the people. People had to get a real estate lawyer. Or he was trying to buy, and it was on Cedric. Not sure if it was Cedric Towers up by Burnside, but it was on Cedric Avenue. And he had a partnership with this other guy who they was trying to buy the building, but Donald Trump backed the hell out. But eventually people had to move. And this was like in 2010. This is like before he ran for president the first time, which he didn't get it. So that's why I'm telling people, like, why my stance is against Donald Trump, because I know all the evil stuff that Donald Trump has done. All the criminal activity he has done with his hotels, with his casinos. And I always knew he was racist when he did not hire a lot of black people to work in his executive office. He has them cleaning his bathroom, his hotels, and even Hispanics. So like I said, this man does not have no respect, and I knew it. And now the whole world is seeing it. And what's going to be the downfall is the coronavirus and the Russian bounties. It's going to be his downfall. So when we talk to our kids about this man, we got to talk to it the best way that we can. It is very hard. And yeah, he did it with the Central Park 5. I was a toddler when that happened. I was like 3 when that happened. And my parents knew, and those guys grew up down the block from me. Because I grew up on 5th. So, you know, the history with Donald Trump with New Yorkers, it goes so deep. Like, people were against him. Totally. But then you got some that be like, oh, he doing a good job. No. No. No matter how much good he tries to do, and it's not for the people, it's for himself, and to appeal to his base, he will just never be matched to the 44 people, even some that I did not like, out of the 44 people. So, therefore, that's why I always say, vote, 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 vote. We got, 4 months from today? I think it's not that hard to choose. But I'm not telling people who to vote for, because, I don't know, I may have Republicans following me, independents following me, Green Party people following me. But I should just say, like, honestly, I think you guys need to vote. And hopefully we get a VP. And I have said this before because I wanted this person to be my president, but you know what happened. I will like a black woman. Yeah, a woman of color is nice, but a black woman that not just represents me, but has policy behind her. Years of working on domestic, and even have knowledge, a lot of knowledge of what's going on with our foreign allies, because Our relationship with our allies is so screwed up. Like, I don't even know if Britain has our back anymore. Or Germany or France. I don't even know if they have our back anymore. Or even Spain. Because we're like lone wolves out here. Like, literally, lone wolves out here. So, that's why I said, vote. Vote, 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 vote. I hope you guys have a good 4th of July weekend. I'll probably see you guys on Monday because I'm going to be drinking in my house, in the comfort of my home. I'm not going to be around a whole bunch of people. I do have to go out and get some stuff, you know, from my house tomorrow. So I will be walking to 34th Street from my house. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great 4th of July. And I'll see you on Monday. Have a good night.